Hi, I'm Midori, and today I am very excited and nervous because of an exciting news I got. I have been commissioned by the Leslie-Loahman Museum in New York and their curator, Alexis Heller, to create a unique piece of installation art and socially engaged artwork for the upcoming show, On Our Backs, the revolutionary art of queer sex work. And I need your help. I need your help in making this happen. And maybe you know people who can help with this. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I am creating a large installation of, think of it like a large curtain that I'm going to hand weave out of rope and weave into it objects of memory, objects of nostalgia, objects of attachments that people out there, queer and trans sex workers, either former sex workers or current sex workers, to take their objects that are imbued with memory and emotion and to receive those and weave them into a beautiful sculpture that people will experience. I have titled it InVocation. And here is what the object will look like. And please pardon the squiggles and I am not a figurative artist. Okay, so here we go. I drew a squiggly person to give you a scale of the work. And imagine this circular room that is made out of rope and objects woven into it. And one can walk in. So for folks who have been in sex work or currently are doing sex work, past or present, oftentimes there are objects that are personally meaningful to them, and they may end up actually keeping this object way beyond the time that it is of use. Perhaps it's a lipstick that you wore when you were working, and now it's old and it's dry and there's no lipstick left, but it's still living in the corner of your makeup drawer. Or a pair of high heels, or hot pants, or a harness, or something that you wore when you were working that signified that you were in uniform or you were in character. These objects of transition. Maybe it's a mirror that you used, or a comb, a hairbrush. Maybe it's a mixtape of music. Maybe it's a letter from a client or a customer. Maybe it's a particular bag that you held your gear in, or your condom purse, or something like that. These objects that you don't want to dispose of because there's some memory in it, and yet your rational mind, it's like, why hold on to these? And this echoes a particular festival in Kyoto that I know about, and a particular Japanese way of looking at object memory and totemic memory. I mentioned hairbrush and combs. There's a festival in Japan called Kushimatsuri, and it is the retirement of the comb. The hair comb for the women who worked in Gion. Gion was the pleasure quarter, the long-time pleasure quarter in Kyoto, where tea houses and geishas and also brothels entertained people. And in Japan, hair, particularly for women, but hair is considered very symbolic and having its own spirit, its own magic, if you will, almost supernatural. So a woman's hair is thought of in the ancient saying of woman's hair is a woman's life, or expression of the performance of her gender. if you will. So at the Kushimatsuri, old combs where their teeth are broken and old combs that are no longer viable as a tool of beauty and performance is retired, because just throwing it away is disrespectful to the object, but it is also disrespectful to your memory. And then this festival itself, the particular festival, is a relatively modern thing. It was created in 1961 in Kyoto. However, there are many other rituals like this where objects that have professional significance, like harikuyo. Harikuyo is the retirement and memorial service to broken needles. Now, needles are an object that serves a vital purpose. If you are a seamstress, if you are somebody who's maintaining your own kimono, your equipment, maybe you're a fiber worker or a leather worker, you're a maker, or you're somebody who's repairing your own costumes to perform on stage, or again, sex work. The needle that is broken, this object has served its purpose and gave its life so that you may make a living. And you don't just throw it away, but instead you take it to a shrine and you surrender it to the priest, who will give it its proper rest and let its spirit and memory rest. So harikuyo, the word kuyo means a memorial service. So instead of just throwing these objects that are imbued with our experiences away, to give it to somebody who will transform it into another life. So I want to create a sculpture where I will take from you your objects of memory and I will give it a new life and honor your labor in this experience of a curtain, a partial room created of your memories woven into it. But why a curtain? Well, the curtain is that division of worlds from the public to the private, the personal life of the queer and trans person and their performative life as a sex worker. A curtain that one can actually see through, like the stage curtain as a strip joint. The curtain of a dressing room, it's that liminal, defining the liminal space in a transition, where there is a social contract that as the audience member, the customer, the client, they're not going to look past it, even though that they know intellectually that there is a private life on the other side, that we all agree that the public performance is where the interaction happens. That curtain, behind which is also hidden the memory, the pain, the joys, the sex worker who's taking care of their child or doing their homework or paying bills in the dressing room, and then changes and steps out to engage in their performance, their work. Maybe they love it, maybe they don't. Maybe it's likely that they have really complex experience with their work life. And somewhere along the way, these objects come to hold meaning. And I want to create this curtain experience so the audience member, the client to the artwork, may come and step to either side of the curtain, imbued with your memory. I have a tight deadline. I have much weaving to do, and I need as many objects as you can possibly send me. And I'll weave it in. It can be tiny little things, like maybe a piece of jewelry, maybe old headphones, a broken phone, small things. It can be larger too, but I'm thinking nothing larger than a carry-on suitcase, because I'm going to weave these together in parts, kind of like a quilt, and then I will ship them from San Francisco to New York and assemble them. Along the way, I'm probably going to be asking for help in terms of the assembling and the weaving. So if you're interested in helping with that too, let me know. I have, my deadline for receiving these objects is the end of August, August 31st of this year, 2019. If I can get as many of these by then, that'd be great. I'll take items afterwards too, because this will be an ongoing project, and I will add things even last minute into the sculpture work. But if I can get as many as possible, that'll be really helpful. I'm going to share my address with you. Read below. Okay, I'll put as much down below as possible. I'm also creating a Google form where you can send me your information, and I'll have the information in it, but I'll have info below. Please share this far and wide. I need as many objects as possible. I want to make this stellar and spectacular and show it in other places as well. Please help me out. Please, 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 please. And I'm going to be posting this as a free and open to all public post in my Patreon site. So patreon.com, Planet Midori. I'm going to collect it all there because I think that'll be the easiest thing to do. And let's see, what else? If you need help with covering the postage, let me know. I'm also looking for help in covering people's postage cost. So if you're able to help with that, or if you're able to help with the installation. I'm very excited about this, and I want to thank Leslie-Loahman Museum and Alexis for trusting me in this and this opportunity, and I want to thank you in advance for being part of this.